So if you look back at your journey in your life, what's one thing that you seem to be missing? What's one thing that you as a little kid had that you no longer have? And on top of that, what's one thing that just kids seem to have and that you don't? It's that childlike happiness, that childlike joy, and that like unrelenting curiosity and joy to exist in the world. And so something that I wanted, and so that's the thing I want to teach you today. I want to teach you how it is that I've been able to just be more grateful for life and become a happier person through the steps that I'm going to outline in this video. So let's get into it. So before I start, I do want to say that happiness is kind of like a wishy-washy topic, right? It's kind of hard to, quantify and measure happiness, right? Like a super successful person could be unhappy even though they have all of the things that a non-successful people want, and somebody who apparently seems to have nothing can be the happiest person in the world. So happiness really is kind of hard to measure and to see, right? Because it's like a feeling, right? It's not a thing like meditation where you can see that you've meditated 30 minutes a day. You can't see that you've been happy for 30 minutes a day, but you can get this overall sensation of contentment, gratitude, and joy to be alive. This energy with which you're filled up when you wake up, and that pushes you to to strive to work hard, and that pushes you to take good actions. This happiness, believe it or not, can actually be crafted, right? It can actually be molded. You can't just say oh, I want to be happy, I'm happy, and become happy, right? That's not how it works. But there are literally habits, tasks every day you can do to make you a better, happier. So this first thing to become a happier person and to regain that childlike happiness you once had is to improve your mental health. So when you see kids around you, apart from kids nowadays that seem to be destroyed by brain rot and just TikTok brain rot content, it seems that all kids have relatively good mental health, right? And the reason that is because they haven't been plagued by things that you might be going through, like insecurity and dealing with pressure from school or parents, or just feeling shame because you've been doing bad habits, right? They don't feel all of those things, and so usually kids have just better mental health overall. So respect to you, bro. You've chosen to click on a long, unedited, low dopamine, there are edits, but low dopamine video that will teach you how to become a happier person. So respect to you. You're probably in the top 0.001 attention spans, and if you watch all the way through, you're truly a goat. And so increasing your mental health will lead you to just becoming a better, happier person, but it kind of feels weird to say that oh, your mental health, if that improves, well, so does your happiness, because it seems like those two things are just the same, right? Obviously if you improve your mental health, you become happier, because they're the same thing, right? They're the same thing. Well, not really, because just think of it like a piece of the puzzle, and mental health is simply just a piece. Just think of it as a big puzzle, right? Happiness is just a big puzzle, and in it are a bunch of little things, some of which I'm going to cover. And one of those little pieces, one of those little things that makes the whole of happiness is mental health. If your mental health is shit, you simply won't be happy. Even if just one piece of the puzzle is missing, it will be hard to find that joy that will drive you to work hard and to achieve your goals. So what I'm going to try to do is say, okay, so this is the thing you can do to become happier, and then tell you how to improve on that thing. So the keys to improving your mental health are 4 things, one of which is a piece of that puzzle. So it's this will improve your mental health, but it's also a piece of the puzzle. So it's a piece of the puzzle of a puzzle. Sorry for the yapping. But what you want to do to improve your mental health is 3 things. Meditate, do gratitude journaling, and basically become grateful for what you have, become mindful of the life, and just become more present, and nature. So meditation really helps you improve your mental health, and it's by far been the single greatest thing I've done to improve my mental health and just happiness overall, like I said, because meditation makes you mindful and it makes you present. Because when you meditate, you try to clear your head, right? You try to focus on your breath, in and out, in and out. And when you lose focus of that breath, is when you become mindful again. And mindfulness is really something that so many people in our modern day lack, but it's something that is built through meditation. And so you can think like, oh, how do happiness and mental health and meditation correlate? Like, sure, you become more mindful and you become more focused. Well, it's by becoming more mindful that you become happier, because meditation and mindfulness just eradicate any like negative feelings you have in your brain. When I'm not meditating a lot, like recently I haven't been meditating as much as I did when I meditated a lot. And when I mean a lot, I mean like an hour a day, and even more than that. It was like 80 minutes a day, I think. I meditated a lot, right? And during that time, I developed like a self-love for myself that's just unparalleled, and I became like the most happiest, productive version of myself. And when I meditate less, like when I go on vacation or when I have periods when I really need to focus on my work, and so like meditation takes a bit of a hit, I notice that I don't like my brain as much. Like I notice that my brain will just like say random shit to myself. So I'll just like think a bad thought of myself and be like, why did I just think that? Like had I been meditating a lot, I wouldn't have had that thought. And basically why mindfulness destroys negative thinking, it destroys like insecurity and anxiety and nervousness and unconfidence, is because you're able to become aware, you're able to become mindful of all of those negative thought patterns, and you're able to push them away, to destroy them before they even begin. So you basically just become so mindful of your thoughts and of your brain and of your thought patterns that you don't even let yourself start to think negatively. And that's really such a positive thing. Like imagine living a life in which you don't think badly of yourself, in which you can speak in front of people without getting all nervous. Like bro, this is today, I experienced this today. Like in history class, I had to go up to like present something about a person I chose to debate with somebody else about who's more influential, blah blah blah. And I chose some dude and I talked about him, and like for 2 minutes I talked. I'm pretty sure I was just red-faced. Like I was just, when I get nervous, I get all like really red. I don't know why. And I'm pretty sure that's in part due because I haven't been meditating as much. Like when I don't meditate as much, I just become like just more nervous, more jittery, more anxious. And so I was pretty much just like overthinking so much, even though like I'm just presenting in front of like 20 people. Like what are you getting nervous for? Well, that's just something I've noticed, right? I just like myself less when I meditate less. And so if you meditate more, like you'll like yourself more. And so meditation really is correlated to mental health. And so the key to like building a mental health habit, because meditation habit is simply to progressively overload until you can get to like that 80-minute part where you feel like a monk. So progressive overload is simply just like starting from such a low place, such a low like bar of success that you can't help but succeed, and then you move that bar of success up and up and up and up as your skill and as your literal habit of meditation increases. So like the more you meditate, the more you become able to meditate, the more you like meditation, and then it just becomes this whole positive feedback loop. And so what I want you to do is, after watching this video, after finishing this video, is to put YouTube down, close YouTube down, and meditate for 1 minute. And if you say, oh, like, you know, if you're coping and say, I can't meditate for 1 minute, take one mindful breath, one big, deep, mindful breath. And this is something that I want you to remember. If you ever feel as though you're gonna like lose your streak of meditation, take a simple, big, deep, mindful breath. Because really the key here is to progressively overload until you build the identity of somebody who meditates. And then meditation will just like become an everyday habit. And even if you don't do it, you're not like, oh fuck, I have to meditate. I didn't meditate yesterday. You won't have that, because you'll simply be a person who meditates. That'll be your identity. So that's part one of finding that childlike happiness again. It's meditation. Part two is gratitude, becoming grateful of the things you have around you. You think kids are complaining about every little thing around them, but most of them aren't. And something that so many people have lack nowadays, like just as much as mindfulness, is gratitude. Like so many of us are just ungrateful as fuck for what we have. Like we don't take into account the fact that if you're watching this video, you probably have access to clean water, you probably have access to good food, right? You probably have a room of your own, you probably sleep on a bed. you have nice clothes, right? All of those things. You probably have loving parents, loving siblings, whatever it is. There's so much to be grateful for in this life, and yet so many of us just aren't grateful. And the greatest way to just become a more grateful person, which will lead to you becoming happier, is to build a gratitude journal. Just every day, you write something positive. You write 5 good things that you're grateful for, morning and night. Now, this can seem stupid. It can seem whatever, like, oh, why would I do this wishy-washy activity, blah, blah, blah. If you don't want to do it, if you're too much of, 2 squirrels are fighting. Sorry, 2 squirrels were chasing each other. Like, this is really such an easy habit to build that'll just make you just like so much happier. Because imagine starting every single day with just like a positive thought, a positive message to somebody, a positive message about something that you have. Like, that's such a good way to start your day. Like, thinking every day that I am grateful for my parents, I am grateful for the food they bring me and the house that I'm in, right? Just that single thing can just put a smile on your face, and it's such a great way to start the day. So simply, gratitude journal, gratitude journal, morning and night. Water break. By the way, bro, you should drink in a water glass because there's no estrogenics. Holy shit, the squirrels are back. So, third thing for your mental health is nature. And just being outside in nature is something that I've been doing more recently, and something that I'm going to do a lot in the summer, because I'm going to be working for a summer camp, something that I'm really looking forward to, or I literally just get to play soccer with like kids all day, or like for half the day, and then I get to just come home and just work on this, like that's gonna be great. But nature, along with being grateful and being mindful, is something that people don't have. Like, it's something that people don't have. People aren't like, why do you think so many people are unhappy when they don't go outside, they aren't grateful for what they have, and they aren't mindful of the fact that they aren't grateful, that they don't go outside, that they have negative thoughts, right? Like, basically, you just become happy by doing what 99% of people aren't doing and not doing what they are doing. And something that they aren't doing is going outside. So you are going to go outside. And the easiest way to like start being outside more, because you're probably not outside much often, is to just make it a habit to like do habits outside. Something that I do like usually quite a lot is that I'll come home from school, I'll work on this, right? I'll record a video, I'll edit a video, whatever it is I have to do. And when I feel myself, like my brain getting sluggish and kind of tired, like negative, I pick a park that's near me, and there's actually this absolutely gorgeous cemetery, and it's not like a gloom and doom cemetery. It's like this beautiful, it's super big. It's got big green beautiful hills and like super big trees. I'll either go to that cemetery or like to another park, wherever, right? Somewhere that's outside, somewhere where I could just lie down on the grass with the sun in my face, meditate for like 30 minutes, and then read, and then like edit while I'm outside. Like, just doing more stuff outside really is a great way to become happier, because humans are meant to be outside. Humans are meant to live in nature, like among the woods, with sunlight hitting your face like for 12 hours a day, right? That's how humans are meant to live. And so, of course, when you're doing things that humans aren't meant to be doing, when your routine is just absolute shit, right? You probably wake up and then you're outside for what, 10 seconds, right? From the time you leave your house to the time you get in the car, or you get in like to whatever commute you have to go to work or uni or school, whatever it is. That's at what, like 10 seconds, and then you probably spend just like 30 minutes a day outside. Of course you're gonna feel unhappy when you're spending that much time outside. I know for a fact that I spend at least a couple hours a day outside, because I'm outside at least 2 hours a day, because I have soccer practice, like not every single day, but at least 5 days a week. I'm basically just outside a lot, right? And being outside a lot has led to me just becoming happier, but also healthier, because guess what? Like I said, and so the more time you spend in the place where you're literally supposed to be, the happier you'll become, the more fulfilled you'll become. Like, imagine if we took a dog or a bear or a cow, whatever animal you want to pick, and we just put them inside, and we gave them no contact with family, we give them no sunlight, and we just put them in this dark little box for like years at a time, how do you think they would come out? Like they'd low-key probably be dead, bro. And that's actually what you're doing to yourself, because you're waking up, touching, like, sunlight is touching you for 10 seconds, right? From, like I said, all the last time, sunlight is touching you for 10 seconds, and then you just get exposed to 10 minutes of nature per day. Obviously you're going to be sad, obviously you're going to be depressed when you don't get nature, when you don't get sunlight. And so on top of just making it a habit to do like shit outside, you also want to like go on adventures. So just like go on a bike ride, go on a run, not because you want to get good cardio and you want to burn those calories, because you want to be outside, because you want to look for places that you've never seen before. You want to see a house that you've never seen that's actually like 2 minutes away from you. You want to meet a person you've never met before that actually lives super close to you, right? Adventures are something that's really lacking in our modern day, and it's really a great way to break free of that mundane, boring routine that seems to be holding you down. Just being like, all right, you know what? I'm just gonna go on an adventure, and that's really something that can just like make your day. So like on top of you getting that cardio and blah blah, burning calories, whatever it is, you're going on an adventure, which is good for you, and you're getting nature and sunlight in, which is where humans are meant to be. Alright, so we have covered the mental health part of this guide to happiness. It is now time to cover the relationship/social aspect of happiness. And I think the greatest way to just become a more social person and to create better, longer lasting relationships is to just talk to more people. Like honestly, I'm not very good at this. Like that's something that I don't do. You know, when I'm in class, like my personality just fucking changes when I'm in class. Sometimes in first walk I'll be like all extroverted and I'll talk, and sometimes I'll just not be. And then in my first walk I'll just like something that my ex told me was like, oh, like when we were together, was like, oh, I never hear you talk in class. Like, why don't you talk? And I was like, oh, you know, I only talk when I need to talk, blah blah blah. But it's not that I talk when I only need to talk. It's just that I'm naturally like a shy and introverted person, and so I often use that as an excuse to just not talk to people. And that's something that you're probably also doing. You're probably using the fact that you're an introvert and that you're shy to just not build up your social skills and not talk to other people. And that's something that I did for such a long time. Like when I was a kid, I moved to a new school and I genuinely did not talk to anybody there. Like if my mom didn't take me by the hand in the class and sat with me for an hour, I generally would not stay in school, and I actually ran away from school a couple of times because of that shy and introverted nature. And so I've kind of had to like grow out of that shell, but it's still like very, very present. So something that I've done to kind of like build up my social skills is that whenever I'm going on runs or like on walks outside, because sometimes I just like walk around the block and I see someone, I give them a compliment. Like one time I was walking and I saw an old man outside with like a hat on. I think it was like an army hat or whatever, and he was like ragging his sleeves. I don't know what he was doing, and I was like, oh hey, blah 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 blah. Oh, like, oh, I like your hat. I like your hat, bro. I like your hat, man. And he was like he genuinely seemed just like astonished that somebody gave him a compliment, and I could see his eyes just light up by the fact that somebody gave him a compliment. And then like I kept on walking, but 100% I'm sure that had I gave him a compliment and then like approached him more and like talked to him, I'm sure that old man would have become like, would have been warm to me and would have been nice to me the next times I would have seen him. And so make it a habit to just like when you're outside, when you're social, or when you know you might like end up in social situations, just approach people, right? And the approach is probably the hardest thing. And it's not about like, oh, what am I gonna say? What am I gonna compliment them on? No, I don't know what to compliment them on. That's not the hardest thing. Like you can just let your brain like autoplay, and your brain will probably just spew some random shit, and you can just say some shit like, oh, I like your shoes, even though you know they might be wearing sandals, they might not be wearing shoes, and you might just look like a dumbass. But that doesn't matter, because experience is all that matters here. And in social situations, there really is no like the only way to get better with social skills is to just do social skills. It's just apply social principles to your life. You can also read this book, How to Win Friends and Influence People by Dale Carnegie. This is a good book, but only if you implement the principles. So a lot of the principles are like Like, they're pretty standard, right? Like, if you want to gather honey, don't kick over the beehive, right? Like, if you want something from someone, don't be a bitch to them. Or if you, right, like, talk about your own mistakes and smile, be nice to people, right? Like, use their names a lot, make eye contact, give them compliments, genuine, like, warm compliments. Just such an easy way to improve your social skills. So basically, improving your social skills, you go out, not to improve your social skills. Like, don't make it a habit to be like, I'm gonna go out there, I'm gonna find that guy out there, and I'm gonna compliment him. I'm gonna compliment him. Don't do that, because that just, like, that low-key just looks goofy. Like, if you put on your best outfit and you're like, what gentleman will I be complimenting today? That's just like, no, it's better to just, like, live your life, do normal fun things, right? If you're at the gym, if you're at school and you're like, oh, I haven't seen that person, let me just go walk up to them, let me ask their names, right? That's probably the easiest way to improve your social skills. And to then, from those experiences, you can, like, I don't know, get their number, get their Instagram, whatever it is, and you can build a good relationship from there. And there are actually things you can do to, once you've established relationships, to, like, maintain and grow that relationship. So something that I do is just, like, show physical warmth, show, like, physical, give me a hug, bro. Like, breaking the touch barrier is really important. It really is really important when you're, like, with your friends or when you're with somebody you've never met. Something I've noticed, and this is, like, if you're trying to get better at a certain sport, this can help you, right? I've read a lot of, like, sports psychology books, and also just from my own experiences. When I'm at practice, or when I'm at tryouts, or when I'm gonna practice with a team or just people I don't know, it's so important that I dab all of them up in order for me to feel confident. And honestly, that's also something I've struggled with. But, like, I notice that at practice, when I show up to practice, and everybody that I see I dab up, I just instantly have a better practice from that. Because also, it's not like although that interaction of dabbing up your teammates one by one might not be, like, just correlated to soccer, it is, because in a way you're building that confidence loop, right? Like, you're oiling yourself up to play well by having good interactions before. Because by dabbing each of my teammates up before practice, I build that, like, okay, I'm a confident person, I'm an extroverted person, and so that's going to translate to me on the field, playing better, being a confident player, because I'm a confident person outside of the field. And so it's just a positive feedback loop of, you do a positive action, right? You show confidence, and then that translates to you becoming a more confident, capable person. So that's why it's important to, like, break the touch barrier, right? Like, you probably dab all your friends off, blah, 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 but probably with your family, right? You probably don't break the physical barrier enough, right? Like, you probably don't hug your family enough. And that's something that I cannot imagine living without hugging my family, without kissing them on the cheek, right? Because I'm European, so. Right, so that's normal. And without telling them, like, good night, I love you, like, blah, blah, all that stuff. I cannot imagine a life without doing that. And that's why my relationship with my family has really been, like, very, very good, because I've just been doing stuff, like, involuntarily that is meant to improve your relationships, right? Like, just showing genuine warm affection, giving them compliments is really the easiest way to improve your relationships. Okay, so we have covered your mental health, we have covered relationships, we have covered social skills, so how to build your social skills and how to then improve your relationship. So, quick recap. Mental health. You want to meditate to become mindful. You want to do gratitude journaling to become grateful of the things that you have. And you want to go outside in nature, in sunlight, because that's where humans are supposed to be. And that's how you'll become the happiest, healthiest version of yourself. Social skills. You want to, whenever you see someone that you don't know, when you're just, like, outside in a social situation, and you, like, they seem like a relatively, they'll respond to you positively, right? Even if they don't, that's fine. You go talk to them, you give them a compliment, right? Or you just genuinely approach them. Even if you ask a stupid ass question, that's better than doing nothing, because, like I said, all experiences are better than no experiences when it comes to social skills. It doesn't matter if you gain, like, like the sort of, like, you'll level up more from a bad interaction with someone than from a good interaction, because like it might have felt awkward, but like that negative interaction will have pushed you outside of your comfort zone and will have shown to you that, like, all right, I can approach a person, them respond negatively to me, and I'm still alive, right? Just all experiences are better than no experiences for social skills. And then for relationships, just break the touch barrier, right? Give them compliments, look at them in the eye, use their names as much as possible. That is the way to go. So that is 2 things down. So there are 2 more things to cover to become a genuinely happy person and to regain that happiness that you once had. And they are pretty correlated. They are a passion and flow state. So one of my biggest passions, is soccer. And in that, I find flow state, which is something I'll cover later. But having a passion, having a hobby, having a purpose that you can dedicate yourself to is so rewarding. It is so fulfilling. Because look at this right now. This video is what? Like 20, it's 20 something. I could have been doing something else right now, but I've chosen to take the time to record a long video for you because I want to help you, because that is my purpose, and I genuinely find a lot of fulfillment from that. And from doing hard work, from following a passion, a hobby, a purpose, you gain great fulfillment. And so I want you to find what your brain obsesses over in your everyday life. What is it that your brain just thinks about all the time? And if you don't have a thing, that's probably because your purpose right now is shrouded in mystery by all of the instant gratification dopamine habits out there, right? If you're constantly playing video games, of course you're constantly going to be thinking about video games, and so of course your life is going to be negatively impacted by that. But what if you were doing something good for yourself and something good for others, and you were thinking about that all the time, right? What if when you were taking a shit, you were thinking about ways to grow your YouTube channel and to therefore help more people? What if when you were in class bored, you started thinking about your YouTube channel? What if all of your shower thoughts were directed towards one goal, one outcome that you wanted? Just think about how much progress you would gain from that, and just think about how much you would grow and therefore become happier simply by focusing all of your energy and attention on one thing. Like, it's no wonder you aren't happy when you don't have a dedicated purpose, when you don't have a passion that drives you in life. Now, if your purpose isn't something like where it's a YouTube channel and it's like business work, right? And you have to make money, blah blah blah. That's fine, because you might not be at that stage yet. And your purpose can become something like going to the gym, like becoming a really good soccer player, becoming a really good basketball player, becoming a D1 athlete. All of those things are missions that you can drive yourself to, and that can orient you in a positive light, in a positive direction. Like, I will never regret me trying to become a professional soccer player for years at a time, because I have gained so much from that. I have become more disciplined, become more resilient to failure. I have become stronger as a result of all my experiences. And so even if your mission might not be the thing you'll do later in life, it is so important that you find a mission, because with a mission comes fulfillment, and with fulfillment comes happiness. So I'm sorry if I've kind of been just like all over the place. I've kind of been yapping. My throat hurts. Another water break. Honestly, bro, if you've been watching this far, I think you probably should subscribe. I have resources below. So to be honest, they're not resources. It's a lead magnet for a newsletter. I'm sure you would like it though. I sent out emails. I sent an email yesterday, which was my first in a long time. Honestly, respect. You're probably in the top 1% attention spans because of this. But let's get back into it. You need to find a mission, a purpose that will drive you, and that will something that all of your actions and habits on a day-to-day basis can be aligned towards, right? Everything I do is to improve myself to the point that I'm one step ahead of you, and then I can teach you how I got to that step ahead, and then I continue building myself, and as I build myself, so do you, and then as I grow, so do you. So that's a really good thing, right? So find a thing that your brain just thinks about all the time, and then set a big goal for that thing, and that big goal will lead to you taking positive actions, which will lead to you feeling good about yourself, because you'll start to reject bad habits more. You'll start to not want to do bad habits. You'll start to do more good habits, which will translate into proof that you are disciplined, that you are worthy of success, and that will build up your self-esteem, which will lead to you just feeling good about yourself, which will lead to you having positive thoughts, which will lead to happiness, which will lead to... Bro, I actually have to shit. I gotta make this quick. I gotta fucking shit, bro. So I gotta make this quick. The last thing you can do to regain that childlike happiness you once had is finding your flow state. Finding the thing in life that puts you in this total state of flow. Guess what? I also have a book for this. So this bad boy right here, Flow, The Psychology of Ultimate Experience, national bestseller by Mihaly Csikszentmihalyi, is when it comes to explaining the concept of flow. And flow, something discovered by Mihaly Csikszentmihalyi, is, like the book says, the optimal experience. It's the peak human experience. It's a phase, a state, flow state, that humans enter when they are engaged in an activity, and this activity puts them in a state in which they have no thoughts. They aren't worried about anything. Time seems to go either by faster or slower, and they are overall just having a good time. And why is this important to happiness? Why am I saying that? Oh, having an activity in which you don't think about anything is important. Because I think that an activity that puts you, like, your flow state will be correlated to your purpose, one way or the other. And flow state is linked to happiness, because in this book, Mihaly did an experiment in which he gave people like a beaker that was just a beeper that would just like beep randomly throughout the day, and he noticed that when people were engaged in a task, when they were in states of flow, they were significantly happier than when people were just mindlessly like living their day-to-day lives. What this book proved was that when you were actually in leisure time, like people in their leisure time were actually less happy than people working. So that's crazy, because it shows you that the thing that so many people want in the modern day, leisure, not having to do anything, not having to work, not having to focus on something, not having goals, is the thing that actually makes you unhappy. And so this book shows you that when you're striving for something and when you're building yourself up by working hard and by engaging in meaningful activities, that translates to you entering states of flow. And in these states of flow, you become like an absolute monster. Like, I've had times where in soccer, I start like going absolutely crazy, and I've actually managed to like create states of flow, not on purpose, but you can make flow easier by meditating. Like, all of this is linked, bro, and this shit gets me so fucking hyped, because you can do a habit to make you mentally healthier, to make you mentally happier, to make you more focused, more productive, and that will lead to you experiencing the peak of human life. Like, think about this. Meditation will lead to you experiencing more of what one of the greatest psychologists of all time calls the peak human experience. The best thing you can ever get in life is flow states, and you can build more of these flow states in your day-to-day life by finding meaningful activities that are fun and by meditating. Like, boy, I am yapping. Basically, you get more flow states by meditating and by challenging yourself to the point that like your challenge and your skill meet. So if you're against a super challenging opponent like in tennis, but you suck ass at tennis, you won't have fun, you won't enjoy it. If you're against a mediocre opponent and you're a mediocre player, you'll enjoy it. But if you're a really, really fucking good player and you're against a tough ass opponent, that is when you'll enter states of flow. It's when your skill level and the challenge meet, and that is when you just enter this zone of just like pure domination and pure big brain power all up in here. And you can actually make this thing easier by doing meditation. Whew. This was a long video, bro, but I really hope you enjoyed this. This was my longest video by far. I think it's, what is it, in the 30s? So, recap of the entire thing, this entire 30-minute video. Mental health. You want to meditate. You want to do gratitude journaling twice a day, morning and night. You want to go out more in sunlight, in nature more. So if that means just doing more habits outside, like finding a part that you like, maybe just going outside on your lawn and doing habits, do that. Second thing, right, relationships, social skills. Just go up to people, ask them how they're doing, give them a compliment, to build meaningful, lasting relationships, right? And then when just interacting with people, you want to look them in the eye, right? You want to make eye contact. You want to call them by their name as much as possible. You want to compliment them, give them genuine, real compliments. You want to break the touch barrier, give them a hug, dab them up, whatever it is you need to do to break that physical touch barrier, do that. The third thing, purpose, mission. Have a goal, a mission that drives you, a purpose that drives you to doing good things for yourself. And along with that, hopefully, like, your purpose and the work you have to do that fulfills you is your flow state, which puts you in the peak human experience. I truly enjoyed this. I hope you did too. So I put in a lot of work for this, so I hope you subscribe. No pressure, bro. But I hope this helped you, and I cannot wait to see all the progress that you will make. Take care, bro. Newsletter below if you want it, or best self-improvement below if you want it.